Hey, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Today we are playing Castlevania Rondo of Blood on the PlayStation 4. This is part of the Castlevania Requiem collection. Now, if you have a keen eye or you actually follow this channel, thank you so much, by the way. If you do that, you'll notice that I already recorded this game right before this video, or this was the video before. That was a live stream. Hopefully it's clarified in the title. I decided to do this again. If I really like a game or want to actually cover it, I want to do a proper video. Live streams are not proper videos to me. I don't have the right equipment to stream this and make it look awesome. I'm not all up to date and knowledge with how to stream properly to make it look decent. And this actually gives me an opportunity, as ADD as I already am, to actually talk about the game without having to worry about playing it. Now, this was originally for the PC engine, and if I repeat things in the last video, I'm sorry, but shit happens. But I still play terrible on this game because I think, even though it sounds like a pitiful excuse with me, like playing it on different size screens actually takes me a while to adjust to. See, the setup in the bedroom, which I have for recording directly on the computer, is on a 65-inch television, where the television I play games on the most is on a 55-inch, and I'm fairly closer to the television. Like, I almost have to. This television is so large in the bedroom. It's one of the reasons why I lowered down to a 55-inch. It's so large, I almost have to like physically like move my head to see everything going on in the game. And I'm actually originally familiar with this game on the amazing Dracula X Chronicles on the PSP, which not only had this game, had Symphony of the Night and a cool 2.5D game remake of this game, which was awesome because it added more stories. And the cutscene that you just saw, though amazing, it reminds me of a lot of the cool Sega CD games that I played back in the day with the cutscenes. The remakes cutscenes are beautiful, and it kind of bums me out that they didn't add that to this game. I don't know how difficult it would be, but you see the amount of games that Konami's coming out with now, it really couldn't have killed them. I recorded this game instead of Red Dead Redemption when I did the original stream. I had no idea that so many people would stream this game. I figured if I did this, I'd have a better chance of people actually seeing it. Two things were working against me. One, it was my channel, so not that many people were going to watch it. Actually, three things. Two, it's not my excuse me, my thought process just paused real quick. This isn't helping it. This should probably be point number 4, but yeah, one, it's my channel, which isn't popular. I'm not complaining. I love my channel. Two, it's a live stream. Live streams get lost in the mix. It looks like shit. It's harder for people to tune into a live stream if you're not that established, or at least a little bit established. I've been doing this for, I guess it's going on 8 years now, and when I really started doing video game videos, I think I have videos posted even before that, but they were just like posted on YouTube here and there. Eventually they were mostly vacation videos and videos of my dog, and I didn't know what I'm doing. I still don't really know what I'm really doing. I actually hit the fireball that time. And unfortunately, the people that do watch my channel, I've been notified, and I think it might be a live stream thing. If you can't message, please let me know on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, or however you can get a hold of me. If you can't message, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a regional thing. Most of the people that I know, like, live in different countries. Apparently, I can't win over the people in my own country. I apparently was born in the wrong place, probably the wrong time. I feel like my gender's okay. The only downside I can think of just right off the top of my head is the backsplash from the urinal, and you could be like, hey, Mikey, why do you gotta pee so hard? And I'd be like, hey, random person, why do you have to pee so light? You don't know me. But anyway, yeah, and maybe I could afford to be a little bit more handsome or something, so I wouldn't be single still doing videos, but maybe having a video game channel and absolutely loving it even though no one watches it, except you fantastic people. Maybe that would be more attractive. I would have like more productive hobbies that weren't so nerdy, and maybe if I didn't have an apartment filled with toys. Anyway, yeah, so people couldn't leave comments, which really bums me out, because the whole reason I do this, well, part of the whole reason I do this is to hear from like-minded people that actually enjoy my content. And if I can't hear from you, like, that kind of bums me out a little bit, because I'm curious what you all think. So let me know if you can't message us. But this is a normal video, so I'm hoping maybe it's a stream video issue, and maybe if I stream off of the PlayStation 4, some regions can't comment, because I think I've gotten comments from people that are from the US, but not necessarily from here. And I feel like this is a fairly recent issue, because I feel like people could comment like in the past on my streams once they were done. I know people can comment during the streams, but all that data gets erased, and I'm such a nostalgic person. I like to go back and look at the videos that I've done and see what people said. And it's really sad, because sometimes I'll go back and I'll see all these people that I guess some people were in it for money. Some people just gave up because of the negativity. YouTube caters primarily to the popular streamer or gamer or YouTuber or whatever they do. It caters to the popular person. I started when you could still kind of start a channel. My personality is hit or miss. I mean, that's something I can't help, but I can't force people like me or whatever. But you still had a fairly decent chance to make it on YouTube. When I say make it, I'm not meaning like making a lot of money. I mean like getting a decent amount of followers or subscribers. But everything's so politically charged. Everybody's so opinionated. I think a lot of people who play games don't really like to play games, or they're too nitpicky, or maybe people have been doing this for so long and they just don't like playing games anymore, and then it's just like, make your videos about something else. I've been extremely busy. I know I always talk about doing other things for the channel, and I really would like to do that. I really don't want just a video game focused channel. Video games are so easy, and so is streaming, which is what I was doing, but now I'm finding out people can't comment on my streams. I hope it's just a stream issue where these regular captured videos they'll not only look better, but my train of thought, I'll be slightly more focused than the one that'll be streamed. This guy always kicks my ass, because I'm used to playing Symphony of the Night, where when you duck, you would actually duck under the axis. Now, I had this on PSP, but I only played it until I finished it. I can't remember if I beat the 3D version or both, but I think I beat the 3D version, and I'm thinking the 3D version might be slightly easier. And like I said, I'm playing on a larger television. I went from the PSP to a 55-inch to a 65-inch television playing Castlevania Rondo of Blood. Some people might remember this as Dracula X, but Dracula X here is actually the one that came out on Super Nintendo. I think the Super Nintendo versions had some of the levels. It didn't really branch off, or at least as much as this one. And it didn't have the cutscenes. The music was actually fairly decent on the Super Nintendo version. The sprite work wasn't as good, although, as I said in the stream video, I think some of the colors are off. I definitely prefer the color palette of Dracula X Chronicles. This essentially, the TurboGrafx 16, in my opinion, looks fairly close to the Sega Genesis, and I think the processor they had was somewhat similar. But this is like the TurboGrafx version of the Sega CD. In Japan, the TurboGrafx was called the PC Engine, and then the TurboGrafx CD was called the PC Engine CD, I think. I don't know. I'm not a fucking expert. I remember looking at this game on this old website. By the way, before I start going into this old person's tale, I talk about back in the day. Just if you don't mind, if you're not able to comment, please just let me know. It just gives me a better idea. But yeah, I would like to do some more non-video game related videos, but I don't know if it'll happen. Like, doing these captured videos have become difficult enough. I've been busy with work, which is awesome. I absolutely love that. But I feel like I'm letting you guys down at the same time. Obviously, work will come first as much as I love you guys, but yeah. I'll have to be honest, though. I don't think I could deal, like, if my channel suddenly got popular. This will never happen. I'm talking hypothetically. Maybe I'd feel differently. You know, sometimes you can easily say things. I'm actually going to do something different shortly. You'll see in a second when I grab the key, which I already did because I wasn't paying attention, which is good. That helps me talk. So if you notice, I talked a little bit smoothly, a little bit more smooth than usual. I love how this head comes off a little bit smoother than usual. It's because I wasn't paying attention to what was going on the screen, which I shouldn't do, but you know, I have to talk about the game sometimes, right? But yeah, I often thought, like, these people that get money for YouTube, which is an extremely rare thing, like if you make a living off of YouTube where you actually can pay your rent, which is why a lot of people are going towards things like Twitch and Patreon, stuff like that, because I guess YouTube isn't paying enough and you gotta be advertiser friendly, which would be almost impossible for me with my foul mouth. So we get Maria, which I don't know why, she kind of reminds me of a little Sailor Moon. If you play Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which I thought about the future while I was recording this, and I did a video of Symphony of the Night as well, so you're good to see that. She's actually a playable character. You'll see her later in this video. I like the little cheap cutscenes with the bad voice acting. This is supposed to be better voice acting than the original Symphony of the Night. I kind of wish they got the actors from Symphony of the Night actually to do these voices. I don't necessarily feel like the actors were bad in the original Symphony of the Night. I just think they had shitty scripts. Like, I think Alucard in Symphony of the Night sounds really cool. And Maria actually sounded decent too. Older Maria, not the Maria in this game. If you didn't know, this game, story-wise, is a prequel of Symphony of the Night. And you could tell they were kind of heading in a different direction with branching paths and multiple endings and stuff like that, which is obviously expanded upon in Castlevania Symphony of the Night over Rondo of Blood, because Symphony of the Night basically is a Metroidvania game, but that game also has alternate endings, and you can beat part of the game or you can go all the way to 200%. So I think Symphony of the Night definitely took some of the cues. It's interesting that after this, Dracula X on the Super Nintendo, which I think in Japan it's like called like Dracula XX, almost like it's somewhat of a sequel. There used to be, this is what I was getting at before, there used to be this website. I doubt it's still a thing. I think they quit covering it. Like after the PlayStation 2 games, they might have mentioned the Lord of Shadow games, which weren't even really original originally meant to be, at least the first one. I think when they made the second one, they knew it was going to be a Castlevania game. But it wasn't originally supposed to be a Castlevania game. It just was supposed to be a medieval game. Which is why, though an awesome game, it doesn't feel anything like a Castlevania game. Yes, you have a guy with a whip. Yes, there's vampires and the occasional skeleton, but the music's different. The music's so important. By the way, Netflix... Castlevania, which takes place during Castlevania 3. It's really awesome. One of the things that wasn't so awesome about it was it didn't use any music from the actual game, which is a damn shame because everything else was so freaking fantastic in my personal opinion. Like, I don't disagree with the people that said best video game adaptation ever. I thought Silent Hill was a fairly decent video game adaptation, although they changed. I think the guy's name was like Harry Mason in the first Silent Hill. They changed it with a woman, which is fine. I don't care as long as the theme was similar. But they kept in tone. Like the Resident Evil movies were like all balls out action, you know? Like I can't imagine somebody playing seeing the Resident Evil movies and never playing like the first few games and then playing it and realizing that it's not this crazy action game. Like if you played Resident Evil like you played like the movies played out, like you would be dead because you would be out of ammo and you can't backflip or anything. You have like the tank controls, which they got rid of with the HD remastered, which now having full analog control in the HD remastered, I can see the ups and downs. The ups are you can basically run circles around the enemies, but the down is with the weird camera angles, like the controls kind of have to adapt, or you have to adapt to the analog controls because you get all these different angles, and if you're going one way, it kind of throws you off when it goes to the next screen. But they did a fairly good job. Like it'll like calculate where the character is going. You can continue to go in that direction. Even though this was a lazy port, I'm glad that it seems like a lot of people are playing this game. But one concern is that a lot of the reviewers that I saw that were covering this game are popular reviewers, and I hope that they actually bought this game and didn't get it for free. But if anything, maybe it'll add more curiosity, because I don't think a lot of people played Dracula X or Rondo of Blood on the Turbo Graphics, or the PC Engine CD, which is here the Turbo Graphics, so that's what I refer to it as. But there's a website called the Castlevania Dungeon, and that website was amazing because it had so much information about Castlevania. That website was such a labor of love. I should have checked before here to even see if it existed still, because I wondered if it did. Like, I think they quit updating it. I think the person who wrote that website or worked on that website or wrote it, I guess he did in code. They went to college or something and they gave up because there wasn't a lot in the Castlevania. And as far as Castlevania news goes, I'm really hoping the Netflix special rekindles some interest. But I almost drew a tear like towards the end of the last season that just aired, which is a decent watch because it's not overly long. Like with the first and second season, I think it's at 6 hours, maybe slightly over, and you can watch everything and you're caught up. Seems like it's leading into the Castlevania 3. I mean, it takes some liberties, but it's the most faithful portrayal of a game that I've ever seen, possibly of a book. I don't know. Especially since the game didn't have that much story, like just the things that they go into, you could tell that they actually looked into the lore, even with future games, foreshadowing stuff. So the series looks like it might go into the PlayStation 2 story of Castlevania Curse of Darkness. That was also on the Xbox, the original Xbox. So that'll be interesting, although Alucard's not in that game. I hope they take some liberties and add Alucard in it. And then I saw in a preview that they're interested in doing Symphony of the Night, which is a sequel to this game. I really hope that they do this game. But anyway, Castlevania Dungeon, I'm all over the place, right? So this is this website. Like, when I went on the website, I only knew about like Castlevania 1, 2, 3. I knew about the computer ports because I remember going to Babbage's or Software, etc. Whatever video game store. Wasn't GameStop back in the day, and it's also sold PC games as well as like NES and Sega Genesis games. And anyway, I knew about that, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Super Castlevania 4, Castlevania Bloodlines. I knew about this game in a small little side article in the magazine Electronic Gaming Monthly, or EGM. I don't know if that magazine's a thing still. Like, most stores near me quit carrying video game magazines. The only video game magazine I get now is Game Informer, which the GameStop card really doesn't help out all that much. So I just pretend when I'm getting the card at GameStop, I'm getting a subscription of a magazine. And they always ask if I want to get the email version. Sorry that I'm not environmental friendly, but I like to get a tangible magazine. That's like such a nostalgic ritual for me. And I don't know about you guys. Like, am I the only person? I know my friend does it, so I know I'm not the only person. But how many of you out there like read their video game magazines backwards? Because I thought I was the only one, and then my friend says I did that too. So I'm thinking it's more common than I might have thought, and maybe I'm way less special. Every time you hit that bell, things come out. One time I saw 1UP come out of it. Of course, I was walking through the door. I'm getting bombarded by Fleamen, but I don't know this game by heart. But on Electronic Gaming Monthly, I think they were covering Castlevania Symphony of the Night at the time. I also knew about the Castlevania 64 games. I actually had the first one. I don't think I ever got to play Legacy of Darkness, which was basically Castlevania Director's Cut, and you could like unlock the first game basically, and then I think there was two. There might have been one or two other characters. You could play as two characters, and it wasn't called Castlevania 64 when it came out. It was just called Castlevania. For some reason, they dropped the 64. Every other game on the system seemed to have 64 on the title, if it wasn't Ocarina of Time. But, yeah. And those games are actually pretty fun, even though people didn't like them. Again, that game missed a lot of the music in Castlevania, but the music there was good. They actually had, when that game opened up, like, it had a nice violin version of the first level of this game. By the way, the music in this game is fantastic if you can't hear it. But yeah, there was a little side article saying the Castlevania game that you never played is considered one of the best, and that really piqued my interest. And it said, I think back then it said you'll never play it too. Now I'm going to an alternate route, which I think I played in the 3D version, but I don't think I played it in the 2D version. I'm not familiar with the boss patterns. I'm really not familiar with this game too much beside the PSP version, which I haven't played in like 8 years. Like, this is literally the first time I'm discovering this part since owning this game on PlayStation 4, and I highly recommend you showing Konami that people still care about Castlevania. I was really bummed with Lord of Shadows. I'm hoping Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, that 2D game they came out with, is pretty sweet. If you're interested in Bloodstained, it's something of the moon, Ritual on the Moon, or some, I don't fucking know, something of the moon. Just looked up Bloodstained, and it's like a 2D remake of Castlevania 3 almost, with different enemies and backgrounds. So it plays just like Castlevania 3. You can tell how it is. I don't care if Bloodstained Ritual of the Night copies Symphony of the Night's gameplay to a T, or Order of Glacia. I think that's what it was called, whatever the last DS game was, which was fucking awesome. Like, you could steal enemies' powers and actually use them. Like, if it copies that, I will be so happy. But I would like to see a proper Castlevania sequel, maybe made by people that make it. Fucking hire the people who worked on Sonic Mania, because they seem to get old school games. But yeah, I would love it if Konami would actually come out with a physical version. Get the people who ported Capcom's Mega Man games. I think they released it in 2 volumes for both Mega Man and Mega Man X. Mega Man 11 seems pretty sweet too. I really need to start doing more videos. But anyway, the Castlevania Dungeon, that used to like tell me about all these obscure Japanese games that like none of the American magazines covered. And I just remember reading religiously like about this game and wanting to play it so bad, thinking I never would, and trying to like figure out how to burn ISOs and finding an emulator, looking on eBay for the Japanese version, and people knew it was in demand, so you never could find it like under $100. And I was like in high school. I washed dishes, which I gave up because, you know, I don't know, I wasn't used to working a job. I worked a summer job shortly after that. I did masonry bricklaying work, which I hope I never ever have to do in this lifetime ever again, because that fucking sucked. But that's how I paid for my PlayStation 2. I died horribly. Part of it's just because I'm not familiar with this game. Although I do better at Symphony of the Night when I play this game. Still kind of suck because I think the TV throws me off a little bit. Another thing I will say, Maria makes this look so easy, but I'll get cocky with Maria and actually start fucking up, because you almost feel invincible when you play Maria. A lot of people consider Maria to be like playing this game on like the easy difficulty. And it's kind of the truth, because it's basically like a shorter range version of the cross, but it's unlimited. Problem with her is that she can't take as much damage. Her hits aren't as strong, but since she has those dubs, they come back to her, so you're basically getting 4 hits at a time if you time it right. And I think her jumping feels a little bit stiffer, but you'll recognize her in Symphony of the Night. But one thing I feel like I've noticed is they either eliminated slowdown that was there that I didn't notice before, or the input lag seems a lot better. I didn't really notice it with this game because, like I said, I'm not really that familiar with this game. I played it on the PSP, but you have to understand, I played Symphony of the Night religiously. I've like beaten that game like, I think I could get 198%. For some reason I never could get 200. I always missed something, but I've beaten that game fully in like no, I guess except for 1% of every nook and cranny of that game, and I've just played the shit out of it. So yeah, I guess that's it. But this is a great collection. I hope that they actually release a compilation disc if it's possible, from all the obscure PC ports, maybe all the way to the PlayStation 2, and I would be happy. I'd pay $60 for it. If they release half of the Castlevania games, I'd pay $60 for it for 2 different compilations. I think 30 would be more fair, but whatever. I think this is a fantastic game. Sorry for not doing more regular videos. I hope you all are doing fantastic and well. I'm sorry I'm all over the place with this. Hopefully you can comment on this video and the comment section is working versus the stream. If that's the case, I'll try to be more aware and try to, when I can, to make more recorded videos, because it looks nicer anyway, I will have to say. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope my commentary was up to par, but you know, whatever. This is Mikey's Video Game Madness. I feel like by now you know what you're in for, unless you're new to this channel, but I feel like you guys are probably like the statistic that says, like, watched for 1 minute and 45 seconds. So thank you for your 1 minute and 45 seconds of the time. I think that briefly covers the introduction. So I got that going for me, unless that's what scared you away. But thank you so much. I hope you're all doing well, and I will talk to you on the next video, hopefully sooner than later, and hopefully not a stream, because if you're able to comment, that lets me know that this at least works. And hopefully YouTube will fix their fucking streaming through PS4 thing, because streaming is so convenient compared to capturing the card. But this does look nicer, at least I hope it does. Take care, thanks again, and as always, I appreciate your support. And when I say support, I'm not referring to money like other YouTubers. I just mean thank you for taking the time to watch my video and interacting whatever way you can. Hopefully in a positive manner, but you know, at this point I'm trying to get attention no matter which way it is. So if you want to leave negative shit, go ahead. But positive stuff works better for me personally. But thank you all and take care. Bye.
If you want to, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.